Grana Weep, Mini Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel, I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 characters from the comic book world that I would like to see on my TV screen. Now, I love Transformers comics, and we review Transformers comics on this channel as well, usually on a Monday, as long as there's something that I've got to review. I truly believe that some of the best Transformers stories that you can find actually hide themselves away in the pages of the comic books, along with some of the best characters and versions of characters as well. So I wanted to have a think about who is actually in the pages of these fantastic stories, these fantastic comics that have come from the likes of Marvel, IDW, and even Viz Media over in Japan. What characters have they created that people have not latched onto yet and brought to an animated series? So in at number 5, we have one of my favourite characters from any Transformers crossover ever, Ectronomus Dimetron, otherwise known as Ectotron. So this is a character from when the Ghostbusters and the Transformers world collided. He turns into the Ecto-1 for Transformers, and I just think he's a really cool scientist guy who goes on a bit of a journey really during this IDW crossover event, where he starts off kind of a bit of a stuffy scientist dude who gets frustrated that people can't pronounce his name, Ectronomus Dimetron, to where he just shortens it down to Ectotron, and he teams up with the Ghostbusters and turns into one of the coolest transformations ever, and I absolutely adore it. I think it's a really cool storyline, and he's a really fantastic character within it. It has great fan service to both Transformers and Ghostbusters fans, having some nice throwbacks to both franchises within this crossover. He's actually a theoretical physicist by trade, and I think it would just be really cool to see this story and him brought to the screen in an animation style. Much love for this story from IDW, definitely one of the best crossover events that have happened. I haven't actually covered this comic book yet on the channel, so expect to see that very soon in the future. In at number 4, and not just because it rhymes, is Gil Thor. So Gil Thor is not some oddly named wrestler from the 80s. He's actually an amalgamation created by Viz Media of Optimus Prime and Megatrons. This is like spare parts or original metals and original parts put together to create Gil Thor. Now, Gil Thor is a very, very odd name. I definitely wish they'd have gone with Mega Prime or Optitron to amalgamate the two names together. I think that would have been so cool, but he looks awesome. Definitely a character I would love to know more about. You can find some more information on him. Apparently he's in a Creo manga as well. It's online, but I've not found out too much information, but I think it's such a good idea. Also, this dude has a sick alt mode and a sick massive cannon, but he comes and goes in the pages of the manga all too quickly, and especially if you pick up the version of the manga that Viz released with everything together. In at number 3 is Shattered Glass Ratchet. Now, I could have chosen numerous figures from the Shattered Glass universe, but the one that interests me the most is this complete flip reversed version of Ratchet. Instead of being the Autobot medic in this, he is more like the Autobots version of Mengele, or somebody who just does crazy experiments on live beings. After battles, Autobots are sent to him more for a kind of torture for not being able to do the correct actions within a battle rather than to get fixed. He does all kinds of crazy experiments on Autobots, fitting them with weapons and hands and implements that they really actually don't want, and it's a pretty crazed thing. I think it's an awesome take on the figure. He's recently had his Hasbro release for the Earthrise version, so you can actually pick up a figure of this dude, and I've reviewed that on the channel as well. But I just think this is such an interesting take on what a medic could be from the other side. Really worth checking out. He has popped up in some other media like Forged to Fight, but just never made it to the screen. In at number 2, yes, it's Death's Head, yes! So Death's Head had to be my number 2 or my number 1. It was actually a very tough choice between my top 2. I love this figure, yes! He's absolutely fantastic. A creation of the Marvel Comics universe. He is a peacekeeper or bounty hunter. He has been actually involved in some of my favorite Transformers comic strips ever, be it Target 2006, Fallen Angel, all of those things from back in the day. He's absolutely fantastic. A crazed looking bounty hunter who says yes. He first gets involved in the Transformers universe because Rodimus Prime put a bounty out on Galvatron, and he answered the bounty. Basically, he put, I was 10,000 Shanix reward out for Galvatron, and then he went and tried to get Galvatron. Following that, he moved on to his own series, and he also fought with the likes of Doctor Who and all kinds of craziness. In his own series, they did redesign him a little bit as well. First of all, giving him a blue and red cape, but then moving on to almost a complete redesign of the character. But I was never really into the redesign. I didn't think it looked all that good. Love the old classic Death's Head. Love this character. I think he's so cool. He doesn't transform, which is obviously a bit of a shame because I love my transforming Transformers, but he has so much depth, so much quality, and he actually brought quite a lot of humor to the Marvel universe as well. So again, this is someone I would absolutely love to see come back and have a starring role in a future Transformers animated adventure. And at number 1, there can be only one. The High Lord of Darkmount, Straxus. My favorite comic book character is Straxus. Not only is he my favorite comic book character, he's actually my favorite Decepticon kind of leader ever. I think this dude is actually better than Megatron, Galvatron, all of them. I love this dude. His storylines were fantastic when he's ruling Cybertron from Darkmount. I just love this dude. He looks like some kind of crazed miner with a pickaxe in most things, but he's just so cool, so good. He's a brutal powerhouse, enforcing his rule from Darkmount in Polyhex, using smelting pits to just melt down anybody who challenges his authority. He is absolutely awesome and has been involved in some fantastic storylines, including the new storyline from IDW, Transformers 84. He's also appeared in multiple media over the years as well, again including the Marvel Comics, which is where he started, and even the Creo Comics online as well. He's also had multiple figures made of him over the years, with the latest one being from New Age, which is a take on Darius, which is their version of Galvatron, so they've swapped over some of the body parts and the head as well. As soon as this figure is released, you'll definitely see a review of this on the the channel. He also came very close to being part of the animated series. So this was an unused character model that they had for the animated series. Glad they didn't go down this road because he looks awful. But speaking of awful, IDW now have Transformers Escape, and they've redesigned Straxus without a mask, without a face cover. In 2021, you have to wear a mask. You must wear a mask. Straxus, he must wear a mask. For real. They are my top 5 characters from the comics. Let me know your top 5 down in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you think I should have gone a different way? Who am I missing? Let me know. Always chuffed to speak to you down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace.